Hello traders everywhere, Jeremy Lutz coming in from the digital studio of Market Club. And the Trump administration announced its China tariffs, saying it will impose a 25% charge on up to 50 billion in Chinese goods. And on that news, the Dow's down over 200 points today. The S&P 500 dropped a little over 0.4% as tech and industrials fell on the news, and the NASDAQ has backed off its all-time highs to shed a little over 0.3% on the day. And as we're ought to do on Friday, take a look at a weekly chart. And right here, we're starting with the S&P 500. You can see we're actually down 0.3% on the week after having two fantastic gains. And this announcement's really just killed the stock market's momentum heading as the week kind of started out like it was looking good, and it's just continually headed lower at towards the end of the week. And then today was the nail in the coffin to just kind of kill that out. But as you can see, we have a chart analysis score -55 with a red monthly and a green weekly trade triangle, indicating that we are in a sidelines position for the S&P 500. I'll give you two levels to watch. One will be a red weekly trade triangle at 2,676.81. A move below that level would issue a red weekly trade triangle, and 2,801.90 would issue a green monthly trade triangle if the upside momentum continues next week, because we were pretty close to that level. Moving along to Dow Jones, as you can see, had gained a little over 2.7% last week. And right now we're down 1.42% this week with a chart analysis score -55. And again, I'll give you two key levels to watch for that as well. Your red weekly trade triangle would come in at 24,247.84. A move below that level would trigger it. And 25,449.15 would give us that green weekly or green monthly trade triangle. So any trading above that would trigger that. However, we have backed off of those highs that we were pretty close to earlier in the week. Moving on to the NASDAQ, still having a good week, still up 1.2% even with today's weakness. Chart analysis score remains +100 with green trade triangles across the board, marking its fourth straight week of gains. Key level to watch would be 7,354.29. Move below that level would issue a red weekly trade triangle, indicating a move to a sidelines position for the NASDAQ as tech continues to push the market. Dollar index having a great week this week, up 1.37%, which is affecting gold, which we'll take a look at in a second here. Chart analysis scores +100, indicating that overall the strong trend is in place for the US dollar to head higher. Key level to watch would be 92.76. A move below that level would issue a red weekly trade triangle, indicating a move to a sidelines position for the US dollar. And speaking of gold, currently trading at 1,281.30, right at its lowest levels of the year, looking to close the Friday close at its lowest levels. Chart analysis scores -90 with red trade triangles across the board. And our key level to watch would be 1,313. A move above that level would issue a red daily trade triangle, indicating a move to a sidelines position for gold. Moving along to crude oil. Currently has a chart analysis score -70 with a red weekly and a red daily trade triangle, indicating that a short-term downtrend is in place for crude oil. That's really on the news that Saudi Arabia and Russia, who are part of the OPEC, will meet next week, and they've hinted that they're going to raise production, putting more oil into the market. You can actually see, if we drop this to a daily chart real quick, you can see that move down on that news today, which is today is down almost 3%, issuing that red daily trade triangle at 65.52. And moving along, we'll go back out of here real quick and we'll take a look at Bitcoin. It's still down about a little over 1% today. We'll take a look at the chart. We'll move this back to a weekly chart. Chart analysis scores -100 with red trade triangles across the board. As you can see, down about almost 14% on the week, trading at 6,539.47. Key level to watch will be 7,666.47. A move above that level would issue a green weekly trade triangle, indicating a move back to a sidelines position for Bitcoin. With that, have a great weekend. I'll be back next week with some market updates. Every success.